All right, y'all. So, I told you in the last video that I finished the Kabbalion, and I'm 3/4 of a way through the Secret Doctrines of the Rosicrucians, and that's also written by the same author under a pseudonym, but it's the same author, William Walker Atkinson. That book, I like to use an analogy. The Kabbalion was like an album where every song was one hit after the other. Every song you listen to just gets better and better. Right? You have that album where every single song you just get more turned up after you hear like track number 5 and you're like, this is it. And you get to track number 6 and you're like, no, this is it. And then you get to track number 7, you're like, whoa, no, this is it. So you just keep it's like a gradual escalating of the music you're listening to. Well, it's the same thing with the Kabbalion. Every chapter I thought that was it. It just like completely engaged me even more, right? Blew my mind even more. The Kabbalion. Love that book. This book that I'm 3/4 of the way finished with, the Rosicrucianism, it's like an album where every other song is a hit. That's a perfect analogy, right? Perfect metaphor. It's like this book, chapter 1 is like, whoa. Chapter 2, I'm like, okay. Chapter 3 is like, whoa. Chapter 4 is like, it was alright. Chapter 5 is like, whoa. Chapter 6 is like, so it's a tempo. It's a up and down tempo. So overall, the Kabbalion still best book I've read this year, and I'm up to book number 9. Yeah, the Rosicrucianism is a Secret Doctrine. It's number 9 for the 9th month of September, 12 for the year. So the the Kabbalion is so far by far the best book of 2023 that I've read. So good that I'm going to reread it because, like I said, I'm 3/4 of the way for book number 9, which is the Secret Doctrine of the Rosicrucian. I'll be finished that in no time. Maybe by the end of this weekend I'll be finished that. So I'm going to do the Kabbalion again in the 9th month just to kind of like research it some more, because that book is worth a second read, a third, fourth read. I'm going to probably read that book many more times over. So anyway, back to the Secret Doctrines of the Rosicrucianism. What stood out to me thus far, 3/4 of the way through? I would say that there is a philosophical teaching where it talks about the 7 planes of existence, and the 7 planes of existence exists within our soul. Now, it doesn't mean that men have 7 souls or 7 selves. No, that's not what it means. The 7 planes of existence in terms of our soul, it just means that our soul is concealed by 7 veils. One soul concealed by 7 veils. So think of it like a spectrum. The soul is a spectrum, and it has layers, 7 layers, and each layer serves as a concealment of our true self, and also it serves as a revealing of our true selves. That sounds contradictory, but let me explain. The same veils that veils us, the 7 veils that conceals us, serves as the 7 veils that reveals us. What I mean by that is it's a spiritual evolution, and as we spiritually evolve, each veil is unfolding. Therefore, it's an unfoldment, right? So as the veil unfolds, which you have the word unfoldment, M-E-N-T, comes from the Latin mens, which means mind. So it's an unfoldment means unfold the mind. So as the mind unfolds, it reveals. So although it conceals, it unfolds and it reveals in terms of our spiritual evolution. So that's what that means right there, the 7 planes of existence. Hopefully that makes sense. But what really stood out to me, the lesson, the moral, what I really want to point on is something that stood out to me in that book. And it says that each plane, and think of a plane as a level. Think of it as a level or a dimension. Each level that the soul, the person is on, the level is a reflection of the attitude and the ideas and the belief of the person. Ooh, that is so powerful if you really get it. The level, the environment of that level is a reflection of the ideas, of the attitude, of the beliefs of the person. In other words, there's a correspondence between the level, the plane, there's a correspondence between that plane's environment, that plane's scenario, that plane's scenery, that level's ambiance. There is a correlation, there is a correspondence between that plane's environment and the beliefs, the ideas, and the attitudes of the souls or the occupants that occupies that level. Now, to keep that that might sound a little deep. So watch this, simplifying it. The hood that you live in reflects your attitude. Ooh. Oh. So that simplifies it. I gave you the in-depth profundity, spiritual, ethereal, astral explanation. Then I hit you with the hood booger explanation. The hood that you live in, the hood that you're occupying, reflects your attitudes, your ideas, and your beliefs. I'll go even one step further. Therefore, the hood ain't bad because, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but the hood ain't necessarily bad because the so-called man made it bad, or is depriving you, or is withholding funds and withholding certain legislations and bills that would benefit that hood. That's the macro, meaning that's the big picture, that's the broader sense. But the micro, the real issue, isn't that big picture. This even sounds like a paradox. That big picture, the legislation that we're saying, hey, they're not giving us the funds, therefore the hood looks the way it looks. No. In the etheric, in the spiritual, in the astral, the real, getting to the root, the rooter and the tutor. No. That hood is only reflecting the ideas and the attitudes and the beliefs of the said pure persons in that hood. Now here's how it works. Here's the, again, more astral and etheric explanation. Also, this is called a feedback loop in the astral realm. Also, the individuals, the occupants, the souls, the people who are occupying the hood is a said reflection of the same hood. What does that mean? Your attitudes and your beliefs is reflected in the hood. The hood therefore reflects your attitudes and your belief back to you. Therefore, your hood is reflected in you, and you are reflected in your hood. That's called a feedback loop. It's called being stuck, or you ever hear you're stuck in the hood? Come on, we all heard that saying. Ninjas are stuck in the hood and they can't get out. That's what that means. It means that you are trapped in a loop. Why? Your attitude, your beliefs, your ideas creates your hood. Your hood then feeds back to you your ideas, your beliefs, and your attitudes. Then your said attitudes, ideas, and beliefs continues to build and feed your hood. Your hood reflects back to you the ideas, your attitudes, and your beliefs. That's called a feedback loop. It's called a negative or a positive reinforcement. That's how that works. You are reinforcing your hood is reinforcing you. You are reinforcing your hood reinforces you. Your hood reflects back to you what you reflect to it. And this is called a positive feedback loop. Even though it's called positive, it's really negative. So you're trapped in a vicious cycle. And this all jumped out to me, not in the book. The book didn't talk about the hood. The book talked about the plane of existence, which is a level, and how there's a correspondence between the occupants, the souls, on each level. That there's a correspondence. The soul is tied to the level as the level is tied to the soul. And therefore the soul cannot move outside of that plane of existence. This is esoteric. This is the etheric. This is the astral. This is the spiritual. This is the higher wisdom. And then when I read that, when I studied that, and then I said, okay, let me now, because knowledge without application is waste. You have to be able to apply the knowledge. And that's where wisdom comes in. So then I said, okay, how does that look in the real world? How is that practical? It sounds good in the book, but how is that practical in the world? And that's when I was able to apply that to life and say, okay, so this is why some of us are trapped in the hood. And this is why they say you could take a person out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the person. And that's what explains that. Why a person you can take a person out the hood, put them in a rich environment, and somehow they find their way back into the hood. A man could win the lottery, becomes wealthy, and all of a sudden, several years go by, he's poor again and back in the hood. Because you took the body out of the hood. You never took the mind. You never took the mind out of the hood. You took the body out the hood, but you never took the mindset. You never took the soul, the spirit. Because the spirit was manufactured in the hood. And remember, there's a reinforcement. So though he won the lottery and became rich, his soul, his spirit, still had an impoverished imprint. I'm going to say it slowly one more time. His soul, his spirit still had an impoverished imprint upon it, stamped upon it. And as long as the imprint of poverty is stamped upon the soul, upon the spirit, upon the mind, upon the psyche, it doesn't matter where you take his body and put it. It would always revert back to its natural habitat. And the natural habitat is the imprinting of poverty upon the psyche. Till next time, see y'all later. Peace. If you like it, you know what to do. Leave a comment, whatever. Peace.